crown of life. Yes, today being the 5th day of our preparation to celebrate the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, let us reflect on the virtue of her faithfulness to God. What is faith? Faith is a virtue given by God, and it is expressed through our actions. The Virgin Mary is found as the most faithful person who fulfilled God's will in obedience through faith. Let us see few life examples where Mary was found faithful in the sight of God. First of all, Mary accepted with faith the message and promise brought by the angel Gabriel. She believed that nothing would be impossible for God. Through faith, she conceived the Son of God. Secondly, moved by faith, she travelled to the hill country to see her cousin Elizabeth and spent herself at her cousin's service. Thirdly, we see Mary's faithfulness to people for the sake of God. When Caesar Augustus issued an edict ordering the census, together with Joseph, Mary had to go to Bethlehem. She does this out of her faithfulness to God's will, thus acknowledging herself as a subject of the Roman emperor. Again, we see the flight to Egypt at night as a response to the dream where the plan of God was revealed to protect the baby Jesus from the hands of King Herod. Here too, Mary continued her yes to God's will and remained faithful to his plan. During the public life of Jesus, Mary saw the aggressiveness of Jews towards her son Jesus, heard unjust judgments, saw the hateful glances, and she bore it all for the sake of her yes to God's will and remained faithful to all his promises. Throughout her life and until her last trial, when Jesus, her son, died on the cross, Mary's faith never wavered. Even at the death of Jesus, she continued that yes to God and remained faithful. She never raised questions, never complained, criticized, or grumbled, never went astray from the plan of God. She stood close to God's will and in all circumstances gave her life to fulfill God's plan. Mary's faith waited in silence for the unfolding of the will of God. Let Mary be our model to grow in faithfulness. Today, through her intercession, let us pray to God to help us to be faithful at all times, in our studies as a student, in our job as our profession, in our commitment in our vocation, and in all life situations that come across our life. Let Mary, Mother of Carmel, help us and teach us to lead a faithful life. And let us pray together. Mary, most faithful, teach me to be faithful in my life. Amen.